Kia ora and welcome to Tarmac. I'm Dave.
I'm Matthew, and today we're joined by one of the champions of this small hatchback segment. It's none other than the Opel Corsa.
That's right, it's the SRI, which stands for Sports Rally Injection, but it's a compact super mini that's out to detoxify New Zealand's harsh, horrible emissions clogged up landscape. Come, let's take a look at this. Now, although relatively new to New Zealand, actually very new to New Zealand, the Opel brand's been around or producing cars for 120 years, and this Corsa has actually been around for the last 40 years. So this is the 6th generation. So there's plenty of experience and stuff behind it. And also, if you're looking for awards, I think the Corsa's won most of them. It's been Car of the Year in Europe. It's actually been a top seller in the UK for, I don't know, for a number of years. Well, certainly the last couple. And so it really has garnered a lot of attention, and so launching with it here in New Zealand is actually a really good move. Now, there are two models that are coming out. You've got the Corsa E, which is a BEV, which we're actually going to be doing a video on as well, and also this one, which is a petrol engine, but it's also a very, very frugal petrol engine when it comes to just emissions and sucking down on sort of fossil fuel. So really good from there. Looking around it, we've got this lovely Blitz logo. I keep calling it Blitzen, I don't know why, but Blitz logo, which is really good for the sort of electrical age or low emission age that it's going into. These IntelliLux headlights are basically matrix headlights, so really unusual for this category. So a really big first from there, so blocks out stuff, you know, making sure you've got some good visibility up front, and just the rest of it, just a really nice narrow front. And it is also quite a cute super mini. So in terms of size wise, it's only 4 meters long and actually 1.4 meters tall, so even somebody of my stature can look over the top. Now, there are 6 color schemes for this Corsa now out there. This one is hot red, which is basically as red as my nose, which is pretty cool from there. It comes with this diamond black roof, which is really contrasts very well with this red. Obviously black mirror caps as well, and in the continuing with the diamond theme, the 17-inch alloys are diamond cut, so a little bit of diamond, a little bit of red, a little bit of black, lots going on, and really nice strong character line down here. Then also this one that flips up towards the rear here to where the petrol is filled from there. As much as I'm probably not allowed to say this, it's actually got a good looking rear. You've got a roofline spoiler, you've got the wiper there to make sure you got a nice clear windscreen or rear windscreen or whatever it is. 3-dimensional tail lights here, which see if we can show you there. Corsa badging, the Blitz logo's cool, and also that's where you get entry to 309 litres of actually boot space. So actually I think it's more than what you're going to get in the Corsa E, but I'll see if I can show you that anyway. But yeah, plenty of stuff from there, and also just lots of surround, lots of lower valance down here to make sure that it's as aerodynamic as it can be. And also look at this, something not seen that often, an exhaust pipe now. So the exhaust pipe goes straight under the bonnet, so let's go there. What we have here is a 1.2 litre 3-cylinder engine, which is actually awesome. What it produces is 96 kilowatts of power and 230 newton meters of torque. And also it's strapped to an 8-speed gearbox. So it's actually good when down low or when you're putting on revs. It's got that lovely 3-cylinder off-kilter rev note. And then also when you're getting onto the motorway, the 8-speed box is actually dropping those revs right down. So very good. 0 to 100 is around about 8.7 seconds. And also when it comes to sipping fuel, it's around about 5.2 litres per 100 kilometres. So told you it was a frugal little beast. And I think when it comes to grams out those exhausts, so CO2 grams, I think is around about 130, but I'll double check on there. Speaking of things that are frugal, Matthew's inside and he'll show you what's going on in there.
I'm not quite sure what Dave's talking about frugality, because look at this. I've gone through this bottle of iced tea pretty quickly, certainly faster than this will go through a tank of petrol. And if you have got bottles and things like these, well, the Corsa might be a super mini, but it's still got plenty of practicality going on. You've got your bottle holders in here, in the door bins as well. There's a dedicated slot for your key over there. Not to forget the space for your phone there too, as well as cup holders and things in the back. So there is plenty going on there. And of course you've got that glove box there too with the shark fin style stabilizers, which alludes to this little shark logo over here, as I've been duly informed. In terms of materials here, so you've got your cloth covered seats, and they're highlighted in this red stitching along with red sort of striping here and there, very much fitting with the theme of that SRI, that sporty bend that this Corsa has. The seats themselves are actually really comfortable and soft. You've got a good bit of bolstering both on the top and bottom, and not to forget they're heated as well, so perfect for those winter mornings. The cabin feels nice and solid too. Everything you sort of shake and doesn't really shake actually. There's no rattles, nothing of that sort. And you've got soft materials on the top of the dash there, as well as in the door. I've got to say, I really like the red line going through there, as well as that shiny panel over there. It just helps break up the black plastic interior and adds a slice of fun to the inside of this Corsa. Speaking of the inside, the key part of the driving experience comes from this center stack here, where you've got this unit, which isn't actually an air conditioner, but more of a heat pump instead, and we'll explain some more of that later on the drive. Anyway, it's controlled by buttons and knobs, traditional style, but very much appreciated by the driver. And then of course you've got this infotainment screen. So let's take a look at that. Now the color touchscreen here in the middle is sort of laid out in a mix of, you can see, some traditional stuff as well as the touch stuff. So you've got in the middle here your dial for the volume, you've got your on-off button for the system there, and then on the sides there you can see some shortcut buttons. So your navigation there, your media input, and if I click on that, that takes me through to the different types of sources I can have. So whether it's Bluetooth or USB, radio as well. And then of course your phone connectivity, which comes in the fact of not just Bluetooth but also CarPlay and Auto are options on there. Lastly, you head to the car mode, and you can go through some of the different driving functions and settings here. So the traction control, that's controlled on this screen. And then when you go into vehicle settings, you can toggle with some of the safety options there, including blind spot monitoring and traffic sign recognition and active safety brake. So it's really feature packed in that respect too. Speaking of features, there's also an all new fully digital information screen in front of the driver. So let's take a look at that. Now the screen in front of the driver, well, as you can see, that's laid out in quite a funky way, I've got to say. You've got the speed and the gearing in a big sort of circle in the middle there, and then below you've got some of the other gauges. So starting from the left, you've got your rev counter, which moves across sort of like a race car, if you like, moving all the way into the red zone. You've got your temperature gauge and your fuel gauge there too. And as you can see, this Corsa is extremely efficient. We've got under a half tank left, and it's got 330 kilometers of range. So really incredible sort of mileage that you can get from this car. Looking back, and you've got the steering wheel there with these paddle shifters on both sides. You've got a nice leather wrapped steering wheel as well as a flat bottom, and your buttons on there for your various shortcuts on that screen as well as the infotainment screen. Feels really nice to hold, and it's nice to see that Opel badge in front of you there. Now that you've seen all the highlights of the exterior and the interior, I think it's time to take this Corsa for a drive.
Right, so the Corsa, look, being compact, or being the size I am, I'm bound to like a compact car, because look at me, I am very compact, you know. But there's something about this vehicle, it's so much fun to drive, mainly because of that engine note. Once you start pushing your foot down and that three-cylinder does its three-cylinder sound, it's really cool. But also the fact that it just turns on a dime and just does what compact cars do. It's just great fun.
Even from the outside, it's sort of the noise that you get from that three-cylinder is a lot of fun. It's very, very different, very unique, and that's just like the Corsa. You don't see, you know, Opel is a new brand to New Zealand, and people, owners of these Corsas, you know, they want something different. They want something that it's not your regular run-of-the-mill Super Mini, and this is very much it, I think.
Yeah, the obvious differences between this one and the Corsa E, aside from the powertrain, is the fact that there's no sunroof. The adaptive cruise control is not adaptive in here, and there's another little techie thing but aside from that, this is as really good as, or as much the same as the Corsa E. And the fact that it's probably, well, it's around 20 grand cheaper as well. So this, with the clean car discount and stuff like that of an extra 2.5 grand, this makes this really good value.
Absolutely, it does. And you know, it's not just the two of us who can sit comfortably in here. You can actually get 2 more adults in the back seats over there. There is enough knee room, foot room, and headroom for that. But getting in and out is a bit difficult. That rear pillar does sort of really intrude when you're getting out, so you need to watch yourself.
Yeah, so if you are my size, then the front seats are the one, or dibs shotgun quickly. In terms of comfort, I think you've nailed it. The seats are really good. I like the racing stripes on them. It's very cool. The visibility around is good. The way you feel in quite a it's a great driving position.
And again, not to forget that both of the front seats are heated, so it adds another little touch of premium feel in here, I think. Yeah,
the obviously more fun is to be had when you put it into sport mode, and that does give you. Apparently, it remaps the gearbox and things like that, so you do have more acceleration points, so you do have a quicker uptake when it goes, and just get to hear that sound more.
It does sound really good, and the fact that, you know, it's got that SRI badge on it, so it's got some of that handling credibility that we know Opel can do in terms of sportiness.
Although it's not massively fast with the kilowatts. I mean, let's put it for what it is. It's a great little zippy around towner, and it does do that very well.
From the passenger's perspective, I'll say this again, it sort of feels like everything is geared towards the driver quite a bit. You've got this whole central stack here that is very much angled in that direction. But again, if I was the driver, I wouldn't be complaining.
The other smart thing about this vehicle, and Matthew touched on it earlier, is this air conditioning unit, or lack of air conditioning unit, because it's actually a heat pump, which basically draws less energy, so it doesn't take that much to drive but still stay cool. So you still get a great air conditioning feel without the air conditioning stuff. Hopefully that makes sense. It's just very smart engineering.
Well, all you need to know is that it still keeps you cool or keeps you warm in the winter and uses less energy at the same time.
That's what I just said. I mean, with 5 generations already under its belt, you knew the 6th generation is going to be good. The next generation will feature more of its visor look and its pure panels, so it's more, what do they call it, pure and simple or something like that. Bold and pure, that's what it is. And I think more of those characteristics are going to come out. But this one is you can see why it's such a top seller. So there you have it, the new Corsa SRI. It's a compact super mini that is actually rather super. Great on fuel, great on performance around town, and you know, an 8-speed box means that you can go for miles on nothing. On the smell of an oily rag is how they used to call it back in my day.
And it's full of surprises. I mean, just look at this cabin, the style, and of course, you can't forget that 3-cylinder noise.
3-cylinder noise. Anyway, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. See ya.